Hey gang, it's Chris. Back on the couch, because I still don't have any other filming section in my house right now that looks decent. We'll get there one day. Today is a glorious day. My lovely best friend of 18, 19 years, Tori, has suggested that I do a rant review on a book I read literally a year ago. So, everyone thank Tori, this is my first rant review. Now you might be wondering, Chris, I thought you were gonna rant review Berserk by Michael Grant. I will! Don't rush me! But today, we're gonna rant review Spellshop by Sarah Beth Durst. Okay? That's what we're doing. Because a year ago, I had gained access to the book, and as soon as I finished it, a day later, I took it to my local book exchange and went, here you go, it's basically brand new, I've barely fucking touched it, I've read it once, and I no longer want it in my possession. And then I also wrote 674 word, Google Doc about, how much I hated it. So, I couldn't get access to the book. I tried putting a hold on it. I was gonna put a hold on it through my local library, but my current local library doesn't have any of them, and there's a hold on the one in the Canby library, so I couldn't get it in time for this video, and I had to record a video because I'm gonna be on my anniversary trip when this video launches, so... Here we are. Also, if I mention the word Google and I look to my right, it's because we have a Google Home, and I have to make sure that it doesn't light off. Because it does sometimes. He's good. We've named him Ham. So, I don't remember everything about this book because it's been a year. Even over a year at this point. So, gonna need to give me some grace. I'm gonna get things wrong because I haven't read it in a year. I read it one time and I didn't like the book. And then I didn't get a chance to get a hold of the book through the library to go back and find the sections I want to talk about. So, this is all based on memory, high chance that I get some things wrong, but let's get into it. My notes are gonna be my old rant review from a year ago. I need to preface that there is most likely a reason I didn't like Spellshop that may or may not have nothing to do with how the author writes. Disclaimer, this is a rant review about this book, and if you are the author or a friend of the author, this video is not for you. Thank you for that disclaimer. It needs to be said. I went into Spellshop with the cozy, fantasy, cute, fun little aspect. Mind you, I had just come out of the first book by Travis Baldree, Legends and Lattes, and I was looking for another cozy fantasy, and the back of Spellshop really made it out like this. It was like Kayla and her sentient spider plant are escaping the city and going and living on this cozy little island and making friends. There's like a revolution in the background, and I'm like, okay, I'm kind of with it. This is great. So, like, there's gonna be some suspense, but also, like, building your life. I couldn't have been more wrong, okay? Now, some of the things that were wrong with this book are personal to me. I'm a big thing where if you aren't going to give me a physical descriptor of the character, or you want to be elusive with your main character, that's fine. I'm gonna come up with what I can, piecing together the puzzle to create and formulate a character and what they look like, right? Everyone has their own version of what that character's gonna look like, and I love that. I love when authors do that. This book gave you the character, and then dropped an entire physical descriptor by, like, chapter 4. Bugged the hell out of me. Pissed me off so bad, because by chapter 4, I was like, okay, I've got an image in my head, I know what this woman looks like, okay, I'm good. She's probably, like, whatever. I don't know what I envisioned her like. Now I just think of her as her stupid fucking described self. Ugh. So, yeah, no. And then they turn around and they go, here's the description of her, by the way, randomly on the side of the fucking cliff on her way to the town because she realized she really sucks at this. And I'm like, Why the fuck is she blue? Yes, that bitch is blue, like Avatar blue, with blue hair. I couldn't fucking believe my eyes. I read it and went, huh? And then my entire perception turned into Avatar blue. And for the rest of the book, all I could see were the Avatar people. Okay, it really ruined it for me. Because I was like, why the fuck is she blue? That's crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna read you my chapter 1 breakdown and see if that jogs my memory. Mind you, I was really pissed off writing this, so just keep that in mind. I was very passionately writing this. I have Spellshop by Sarah Death Durst. Chapter 1 started out with a strong opening. You meet the main character Keela and her sentient spider plant Kaz. You are informed of an ongoing revolution in the city they live in. Keela is a librarian in the Great Library, a place for old sorcerer and spellcaster books. You find out only spellcasters can come into the library, and the knowledge of spellcasting is reserved for those qualified only. This is important. Anyone caught doing magic that isn't qualified receives harsh punishment. You are taken through Keela sorting books in case they need to flee, but are sure they won't. Kaz breaks through and tells Keela the library is on fire and they need to leave now. Taking 5 crates of books to an old canal boat, they flee the city. Okay, I've given you a lot of information. I've written a lot of information, and I've condensed chapter 1 down to this much paragraph, okay? Great. Kaz is a sentient spider plant. Goodreads was like, Kaz is what makes this book. Kaz is okay. I like the love interest more. It's whatever. Keela, I hate her. Okay? She is the most insufferable MC ever. I don't like her. I didn't like her the whole book. She's like, just pissed me off the whole book, okay? Now, she works in the library, sleeps in the library, eats in the fucking library, okay? It's like her dream job or whatever. She takes care of all of the sorcerer books. You have to be a qualified magician, sorcerer user, right? This is important. There is actively a revolution going on in the city. You are given more information than I've led on to in the paragraph I've read. And there's kind of a plot point where it's like, the revolution's here, people don't think spellcasters should be the only people using these books, blah, 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 right? She's kind of been putting some books aside, being like, well, just in case we need to, like, run off, because you never know what's gonna happen, and Kaz busts through and is like, fucking library's on fire, we gotta go, bitch! She literally, like, grabs these fucking books, hauls them to a boat that's out back, it's like the librarian boat, and takes the canal to a, like, secluded area. Now, you would think the revolution part of this book would come into play a decent bit, considering she's moving to another island not too far away from the city, so clearly news of the revolution would make it to the little island, right? Anyways, that barely comes up for the rest of the 300 plus pages of this fuck-ass book, okay? I really don't like this book. I'm not even kidding you. The revolution thing does not come back up until the very, very end, and then it's just like, oh, okay. Bro, it's bad. It's rough-ums. Now, mind you, Keela is not a magic user. Also, I apologize if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. That is how I pronounced it, like, the whole time I read the book. So, that's her name. She's not a magic user, okay? She's not. Kaz is the product of someone experimenting with sorcerer books and messing up, and Kaz is the product of that being a sentient spider plant. So they flee the city, okay? Great. They flee the city. I freaking hate this book. So let's go into chapter 2. Chapter 2 is them figuring out where to go. It is awfully boring, and from here on out, you won't hear anything related to the revolution until almost the end of the book, which is bullshit, because it's honestly the most interesting part of the book. I was so mad! They end up on Caltree. Keela apparently has a home inherited from her dead parents. This is the first we hear of this, and last, until, again, the end of the fucking book. And now, it gets boring. So, they float around, and then she's like, oh my god, there's that house up on that fucking little island that my dead parents, you know, owned and that I've inherited, totally forgot about, and has left to rot. Great. We can just go there. How hard could it be? Literally, her whole fucking motto is, how hard could it be? I can just do it my fucking self. When she's been getting fed, lives, and works in the library and has done nothing else her entire life. Okay? Since she moved to the city. Her life is in this library and she knows nothing. Okay? Here we go. I stopped going chapter by chapter, by the way. The language for this book is incredibly repetitive in describing the surroundings. Example, the tree and bark. The bark was a dark brown. On the backside of the dark brown bark was a hole. I am not even kidding you. That is exactly how a lot of the descriptors were laid out in this book, and it made me so mad. Because I was like, what are we doing? But they did all of these descriptors, and then they would not be important. Or they would do these descriptors, and then, again, you didn't get a descriptor for Keela until chapter 4. Kayla. Kayla? It's probably Kayla. It's K-I-E-L-A. Whatever, I'm still calling her Keela. Because I hate her. This happened a lot. You meet the neighbor, who is also the love interest. Keela hates him because he is friendly, and she wants to be left alone, and it's a goddamn mess. Here's the thing. The love interest, which I can't remember if I don't remember his name. Anyways, the love interest basically shows up because she's, like, at this abandoned cabin, trying to bust the door open, trying to dust it out, and then he's like, hey, this is someone's house, who are you? And she's like, I inherited the place. And he's like, oh, hey, well, you're new here, that's great. If you need anything, I can help. And then he, like, brings her, like, cinnamon rolls or eggs or something and leaves them on the porch the next morning for her. And she gets so fucking mad about it. She's like, I can fucking do this myself. I don't need him. Who does he think he is? He's stalking me. Like, he's literally just being, like, a community neighbor because this island's, like, a big community. And she just shows up and she's a bitch. It's rough. I don't like her. Basically, she's, like, shit out of luck, though, because she's, like, having a terrible time. I couldn't even tell you what really happens in between all of this. I know she, like, goes down and talks to, like, the baker, and the baker's really nice and gives her a loaf, and then she comes back down a second time, she's like, I need a chicken! And then she gets a chicken, and then, like, tries to put it in the yard, and it, like, runs off. Like, girl, what did you think was gonna happen? You didn't have, like, a fucking rooster cage or anything? I hate this book. I hated this book. This is the one book I finished, and I shouldn't have. Let's keep going. She just wants to be left alone, and it's, like, really, she's a librarian, so she's like, I don't want anyone around. And so she's just kind of mean and insufferable and just really whiny the whole book, and I just don't like her. Here we go. I have it in all caps. This is hilarious. You don't find out until chapter fucking 4 this woman is blue, 3 question marks. I was mad. She's, like, walking down the ravine, or this, like, hillside ravine. She's walking down this, like, kind of cliffside thing to get down to, like, the little local town area. And she, like, complains that her blue hair was coming across, and then you get this, like, absurd physical descriptor of her. And I literally was like, Avatar? Miserable. I'm talking, like, Avatar blue with blue hair. Chapter 4, like, maybe knowing that the character looked like before wasn't important. I had developed a whole identity for this woman to just get tossed out. Long review short, she has a bunch of spell books, the island is in bad shape, she starts learning illegal magic, I literally wrote blah blah blah, decides to open a jam and remedies shop, blah blah. Book doesn't get good till page 165. So, she realizes that she sucks ass at this. Mind you, Loverboy is kind of in the story back and forth, but she just treats him like dog shit. They do, like, this whole scene where they go out and, like, ride the seahorses, because he's, like, a seahorse wrangler, or rancher, which was pretty cool, to be completely honest. Like I said, the love interest, I think, was my favorite character. He was so kind and interesting, and it was weird. He, like, helps give birth to baby seahorses at the end, which is, like, a huge magical moment, because that's not something that's happened for a bunch of years. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So she decides that she needs to make income. She's not gonna make it on this island if she can't do something to help the island, right? So she starts making jam and remedies. She starts looking into the sorcerer books that she's taken from the library and brought to this island and starts reading them, doing the exact illegal thing that would get her severely punished in the city. And these remedies consist of trying to help the trees grow in the local grove because they aren't producing food anymore, trying to get water to flow in the fountain in the middle of town, trying to help the seahorses give birth or become pregnant because it's been really difficult. Apparently there's supposed to be a sorcerer that comes from the city to the island that continues to help the island grow and to these do these magical things, but he hasn't been around in a while. Do you know anything about the city? And she's like, Like, girl, tell them that there's a revolution going on, that nobody's coming. They need to start becoming self-sufficient. Like, this woman pissed me off. I just don't... I hate her. Anyways, it works out great. And, yeah. She accidentally makes a sentient cactus at one point because she fucks up a spell. And then Kaz is, like, in love with the cactus. And the cactus doesn't really talk. I believe his name's Meep. I can't remember. And Meep is, like, the only thing that can get close to the chicken or something. I don't know. Okay. Oh, right. Here we go. We're gonna keep going. We're, like, speed racking this because I'm trying to jog my memory at the same time. New girl shows up, tossed in by a storm, almost dead. Lauren saves her. I literally wrote blah, blah, blah again. She's from the city. Keela fled. Claims to be an imperial investigator. She isn't. Ends up being a bitch. Tries to figure out who has the books. Keela hides them in a cave with Kaz. And Meep? It was meant to be Meep. Whoops. Who is the sentient cactus created by Keela. Yeah, made up an experience spell, 0 importance. Meep literally has 0 importance at all. He's just fun. The lady finds the books. Kaz and Meep manage to tie her up somehow. So your sentient spider plant and your kind of sentient cactus manage to tie a grown woman up. I don't quite know how that makes sense. Maybe I'll draw a picture and try to put it here. Who knows? I don't know how that happens. Keela shows up and finds out she isn't an investigator. Literally no shit. It was so dumb. She's the 16th heir to the throne. This was wild to me. The 16th heir to the throne. Who gives a shit? Anyways, the revolutionaries are trying to kill off any heirs remaining. She's a nobody, doesn't want the heir, but also doesn't want to get killed. She flees the Cindy, ends up here. I literally wrote blah, blah, blah again. They decide she can make a life here to get away. This was so drawn out. I'm pretty sure this was like 100 pages of bullshit. Of them just like, no, I'm an imperial investigator. What if you have books? And then it's actually like, I'm a nobody. My mom accidentally got pregnant by some great whatever the fuck. I'm like the 17th removed cousin on the fucking dad's side or some shit. And she's like, I don't even want to be the heir to the throne. And the revolutionaries are just basically trying to kill off anyone who could take the throne at this point because they've completely toppled the government, clearly. It was so dumb. Like, why did we choose 16th heir? Also, this could have been such a cool plot line with the revolutionary stuff. Like, you can still have a cozy fantasy book and still have the, like, background of the revolution while, like, that affects smaller communities. Like, there was so much more you could have done with this book. And we just went, the revolutionaries! Oh no! And then just, like, left it alone. So then at the tail end of the book, right, comes the warship. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm talking last 20 pages of the book. Here comes the warship. Oh no! a random actual Imperial warship shows up for no fucking reason. Literally. There was absolutely no reason for this warship to even suspect that anyone on Cauldry would be in correspondence with the revolution. Like, I don't understand this at all. They are looking for the heir. Wow, this arc is boring as fuck. I forgot I wrote that. They don't find her. They leave Big Magic Storm. I didn't put a comma there. They don't find the heir. This big-ass fucking magical storm shows up. And Keela's like, oh no, that's like a crazy magic storm. That's gonna kill like everyone on that Imperial warship. And I don't want anyone to die. So while they're leaving, Keela doesn't want the fleet to die, casts some big magic to make the storm go away, fucks it up. Not in like a bad way, but in like a way that like pretty fucking flowers fall from the sky or whatever. It goes away, but then starts raining flowers, yeah. They come back to the island, because like very clearly it came from the island. And they're like, hey yo, magic? Who done it? And Keela manages to convince the guy to just let it go. I'm not even kidding you. There's no, like, big, you better have a sorcerer on this island, and then, like, maybe one of the elders is actually a sorcerer and was like, oh, I used a lot of my No, dude, no. Also, there's some, like, snitch on the island that's, like, a piece of dirt anyway, and he gets on that Imperial warship and, like, I'm out of here towards the tail end of the book. He doesn't really matter. He's just, like, annoying. But yeah, she literally just, like, you should go. There's really no point. And they just fucking leave. Oh my god. Oh yeah, end of book, more horses are giving birth. This is 4 months after everything. It goes fine. Lauren asks Keela to marry her. She says yes, but she isn't moving out of her cottage. End of book. Lauren is the love interest. I totally forgot. That, I feel like my expectations were too high going into this book, but also at the same time, I was promised something that did not deliver. I walked into this, and don't get me wrong, Legends and Lattes was great, and a lot of the reason I think I didn't like this book was because I came straight out of Legends and Lattes and into this book, and I was like, this was not what I wanted. But at the same time, it could have delivered in a completely different way if they actually would have brought the revolutionary side that they brought up in the beginning actually into the forefront of the plot. Like, you could have had the little town's not getting shipment that it's supposed to be getting. Clearly the sorcerer wasn't showing up, but like they were making do. Like, none of these people knew that there was a revolution going on in the city was so fucking unbelievable to me. And then all of a sudden this Imperial warship showed up, and everyone was like, meh, 16th heir to the throne, like, come on. Like, there was no actual threat the entire book, and Keela was just a bitch the whole time, and was just rude as hell to everyone, and then was still kind of rude in the end, because then Lauren was like, marry me? And she's like, yeah, but fuck you, I'm not moving out of my cottage. And so it was just weird. Like, the whole book was just freaking weird. And I was not a fan. And that's just what I have to say about it. This rant review is a little weird because I don't have the physical copy of the book with me. And it's been a year since I've read it, so I'm running off of my old Google Drive notes. Make sure Ham didn't fucking lock up on me. So, like, a lot of it's jogging my memory. I haven't read this book in a year. There's a possibility I get a lot wrong here. But regardless, I didn't like the book then, and reading back at it, I'm still mad. And I don't like the book now. And rereading it would not help. So, that's my rant review. And I hope you enjoyed it. I do have the entire trilogy of Berserk to rant review, and I don't know if I want to do that book by book, but I think I'm going to just do all of them in one go. Because I don't want to, like, draw that out as a series. I think I'd rather just, like, have it. I annotated a little bit of the first book with some sticky notes, so there's going to be, like, more quotes and stuff that I was like, why? I didn't like it. So, I think that'll be the next one I do. But yeah. Tell me if you have read this book, if you enjoyed Spellshop, great. Absolutely nothing wrong. Would I recommend it to people who like kind of a very standoffish main character but still kind of have a love story? Absolutely. Of course, I would recommend this to people, because just because I don't like something doesn't mean you can't like something. So give it a read if you think it sounds interesting. But also, if you made it to the end of this book, I may basically just spoil the whole book. So I mean to put a spoiler warning in the front. I will do that as well. So that was it. That's all I have. I'm currently in the middle of Hemlock and Silver, which just had the weirdest plot twist that really didn't feel like it happened, and I put the book down because I was like, I didn't like that. So this is going a weird direction. We'll see how it goes. But I still don't know how to end these things, so have a good day, and I'm going to be on my anniversary when this happens, so when this uploads, so I'm very excited. So, excellent. Okay, see ya!